What's going on, world? It's your boy Adam-Tate,
Kelle Jr.
and we here to discuss a couple topics today. One in specific is going to be police brutality, just due to the recent incidents in Baltimore and Ferguson, and it seemed to be an ugly monster they keep bringing his head back about. And so we just want to touch on a few areas of it, and we only voicing our opinions,
Police brutality has been out for a long time. You think about the LA riots, the old Baltimore riots. Now you got the Ferguson and Baltimore now. They had a riot, I want to say back in the 60s or 70s or 80s or somewhere in Baltimore then. Point blank, everybody needs to be held accountable,
And it's not, when police brutality happens, it seems that it's always tradition for the black community. When it happens to us, of course, we the only community it happens to. When it happens to us, we tend to voice our anger by burning down the city, and the people who lose the money aren't necessarily the people that are causing the harm, causing the harm to us. And so,
we're beefing with our own self when we burn down our own cities. You're looting out your own stores. And that's with anybody. That's with any riot that we really been a part of. It's not just what's happening now in Baltimore. We understand the frustration. We understand the anger. But it's different ways to voice your opinion. There's different ways to get things done, using intelligence. That's the way you're gonna have to fight back, really. Violence is not it. I understand why, because everybody has an opinion about violence, but when it comes to doing it the way we've been doing it with these riots, we're not making no point across. We're just looking flat out ignorant.
And I'm proud to see people get behind a cause. Black people get behind a cause, even though if your direction might be misguided in how to obtain justice. I wouldn't say rioting anything or burning down anything would obtain justice. If you're mad at the police force, you need to come together as one and voice your opinion to the court systems, to the justice systems, and hold the chief accountable. Who's training these people?
Who's responsible?
And lately, a lot of the police officers are former military that's come back from war, or come back from training where they're trained in military training, which is a whole different mind state than you would need to have dealing with civilians. And so they come back and no fault of their own, but they're doing what they were trained to do, and
they're taking it to another level.
They're taking it to another level. They are, man. It's almost like they're preparing them to control us completely. And when we do things like go out and riot and burn down our cities, we're just giving them a reason to come and try to control us even more, take more away from us, and then we take more away from each other. We don't riot when we kill each other, and nobody on their side says anything, because when a black man kills a black man, it's 2 lives lost. They done got rid of 2 niggas. One of them dead, and one of them about to serve the rest of his life in jail. But when a white cop kills a black youth, they get put on paid leave, or it had to be a cop. Look at the Zimmerman case with Trayvon Martin. He got found not guilty, and it's just basically saying a black life is worth nothing.
And they're looking at it as threats. You got a black man he's running away from a cop, and he shoots him down. The cop should have ran up and tackled him, tasered him. You got the other cop can't tell the difference between a taser and a 40 cal. You know what I'm saying? They like a pound or 2. They about 2-3 pounds different. You know what you're doing. I don't know what happened to him. You got cops telling the black man, to go let me see your license. The black man enters his car and he got 3-4 shots in him. And then he's still resisting arrest, and he's trying to breathe for his life.
I will go on the record and say this. In my opinion, the majority of law enforcement officers aren't racist individuals.
They're not. You got a lot of good cops out there.
You got a lot of them that are
on the line. Yeah. They got families too. They gotta come home to their families. I'm not saying I don't respect the cops. I don't respect the bad ones, and the bad ones are the ones getting the publicity right now. And you're shooting down kids. You're killing people who are unarmed. It's got to stop. You know, and that's bringing so much racial tension to this country because that's all the media is showing. You know, they're showing all the bad stuff that's happening with the riots. But you don't go to the same city and show the good stuff that's going on. You don't see the people, they don't have the news going around showing, you know, community development, stuff like that. You know, reaching out to the kids, you know, having career days for the kids. You know, do some CNN work with that or some Fox News with that. Stop being biased. Stop coming to the neighborhoods when things are getting violent and showing the world what's going on instead of showing the world what's going on when good things are going on in the neighborhoods. Just because Americans live in poverty doesn't mean that, you know, you should be looked down upon. You know?
Bring attention to the fact that they are in poverty and their neighborhoods are filled with drugs and they do have access to all these guns and they are killing each other. Where's this coming from? Their father's been locked up, their uncle's been locked up, they being raised by their grandmothers, you know what I'm saying? Never seen their dad or got 3 or 4 different siblings by 3 or different 4 other fathers, you know, and it's just it's
a cycle.
Yeah.
You know, you got drugs in the community, you got fatherless homes, you know, you got kids raising kids. You know, we got to step up and find good leaders who want to make a difference, don't necessarily need, you know, the fame, but want to get the progress around. You know, we had the gang leaders, you know, come together to stop, you know, the violence in Baltimore. Just imagine if they could come together all over the country, let alone the country, the world.
And this is what I'm telling to the gang members and the leaders of the gang members, man. If you will come together when something like this happens, what's the point of you beefing with each other anyway? What's the point of y'all killing each other over drugs? I guarantee you, every gang member in California that had color in their skin gave up selling drugs and put their money into separate funds to rebuild their community, that shit would change the fucking world, man. You don't even hear that. But ain't nobody gonna do that. Ain't nobody gonna stop selling drugs and put their money towards helping somebody else. What the fuck is that about? And that's the problem. You know what I'm saying? That's how folks feel.
Everybody in it for themselves. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying everybody is, and just generally speaking, everybody's in it for themselves.
Yeah.
But if you look out, and it's kind of hard to look out for the next man when the next man trying to get over.
We're gonna wrap it up, man. Leave it there. You know, give us some comments back. You know, let us know what's going on, man. Keep it alive, man. Shit.